Welcome back. Let's get to work on the single cab. So my good friend, the guy that owns this truck, stopped by this morning and dropped off this box here from Wolfsburg West. Some parts we are needing and waiting for are inside. I spared you all the packing peanut party. Went ahead and unloaded it, but this is a new cable for the reserve tap on the fuel tank. We're going to go ahead, this bus is pre-fuel gauge, so he's going to run the reserve tap. That old cable was froze up, so we got one of those ordered. The big item, oh, there's that new shift rod we need. The one we took out in the last video. That is in a lot nicer shape than what we had. So that's a good one. We'll be able to get the transmission put back in, which would be nice. Let's see what else we got. Emergency brake pin, some shift bushings, a bunch of little bits. Shift bushings to go on that shift rod are the big one, so I'm glad we got all that. I don't know that we're going to work on that in today's video though. Let me show you what I'm thinking. I'm really eager to do some rust repair on this bus. It's all been deconstruction so far, and I don't know, I need that positive turn of fixing something instead of just cutting it apart. I'm thinking today we might address some of the holes and rust and other stuff that exist in this bulkhead panel, not to mention the huge monster hole right here. I talked to the truck's owner when he was here, and really, this metal obviously is not great. As much as I'd love to save this rib, I think we need to come up here to get good metal. I don't have a way of ribbing that metal, and he said for the quality of truck that he's going for, he's not going to miss that rib too much. So what we're going to do is cut up here and put smooth sheet steel all the way down to where it belongs, eliminating this one rib. Hopefully that won't make any sort of issues as far as tin canning or anything. I think it'll be all right where it is. We have the same issues in the driver's fender well as we do the passenger's fender well. So let's do some cutting and welding. I wanted to make a quick note that off camera, I have removed the parcel tray, the speedometer, the headlight switch, and the wiper switch. All of that needed to come out to address the wiring and for some of those components to be replaced. The parcel tray was stuck really good. All, what was it, 5 bolts, screws, had to be heated up to get out of there. Luckily, I used a little creme brulee torch. We all know what they really are. We use them for soldering. Was able to heat them up and get them out. So luckily that came out. We're able to get the speedometer and the 2 switches out also. I really need to get this e-brake out. E-brake handle. I've been putting it off. Not one of my more favorite chores, sawzalling that pin out, but it's gonna have to happen to get the floor put in, but I'm definitely putting it off. Okay, I went ahead and got the front end up on jack stands so that I wouldn't be getting dingleberries and whatnot in those nice tires. And I've got the first section marked out here that I want to cut to replace. I went a little bigger than the serious rot to get out of the pitting, so we made sure and had good metal to weld back to. Don't forget to protect your ears, your eyes, and your hands when you're cutting metal. You've been warned. Let's get after it. Well, this complicates things. We had a storm come through, knocked all the power out. I was a little worried about the audio in this video, but now I don't even have any video in this video because it's way too dark to be doing anything. Let's hope the power gets turned back on here shortly. All right, well, we're back. It is much later in the day. The power was out for quite a while and it's continued to storm, but we are back and I'm going to try to not let the day be an entire waste. Let's try to get something done. So this is where we left off. I got that crusty panel cut out. There is in fact a hat section behind it, an upright support under the bed, not a problem. I knew it was there. We didn't really cut through it. All's good. We're going to treat the inside of it and let's get a patch panel made. There's some great replacement metal out there these days. If you've done any work like this, you're definitely aware. There's a couple of options, and although everything needs a little cutting to make it fit just right, it's all pretty good stuff. You know, barring some of the leftover stock that's still sitting in there of that orange metal and some of the black metal. Anyway, what's better than reproduction steel is German steel. Everybody loves it. And we'll let it be our little secret, but this bus is going to get a little bit of bay window in it. That's right, I have this chunk of bay window side sitting out back behind my shop, and it's really got some great steel in it. So right down there became this right here. Let's see if we can make it fit. Well, all right, there it is. Fit in place. Not too bad. Got a nice smooth surface. I got my initial tack welds ground down. We got good penetration there. I haven't filled in the plug holes yet, but I think it's going to work. The blue's a little bit off. Ha ha ha. Anyway, I didn't show you all putting that in because you all have watched plenty of videos of people fitting pieces in. But anyway, there's the finished product, or finished so far. We got plenty of welding left to do and grinding, which everybody loves. That power going out has really kind of thrown me through a loop today. The segment you just watched me welding, I didn't even have my hood on. We all do it. I sure don't like to do it, but my auto dark hood was not charged up. I'm gonna have a sunburned face tomorrow. We all know how that is. Anyway, I've mentioned before, my background is not in welding sheet metal. I started welding on 1/4 inch is probably the thickest stuff I welded. That's where I learned. So this is still a learning process for me. Anyway, I did a little more perimeter welding. I'm going to go back and grind and make sure we're getting everything where we need to be and not getting it too hot. Well, I'd say on the whole, I'm pretty pleased with how this is going. The gap is pretty tight at the bottom, tighter than some might like it, but I think if I get it scalded in pretty good, that tight gap might work to our benefit. I'd really like to wait until my hood is charged, but that's going to take a while, and we've already started late today, so let me see if I can get some more tacks put in. Like I've mentioned a couple times, I'm kind of new to this sheet metal stuff. Honestly, a lot of the first sheet metal I did was on the 76 back here. And I've learned a lot since then. By no means am I great at it yet, but if any of you are out there and maybe learning from this video, the technique I'm using in here where I tack a perimeter and then I go back and grind is something I picked up from watching, I believe his name's Chris over at Vagabonders, working on a 73 Westie, doing a roof replacement and everything. Wild work. Haven't seen him post in a while. Hope he's doing all right out there. But anyway, he talked one time about tacking and then grinding your tacks down. Instead of doing a full perimeter, doing all your welding and then grinding, which is what I was doing, you get a lot of buildup. And if you can grind those down and tack right next to your next tack, you don't get as much buildup. You're also able to look and see if you're getting the penetration you need and all sorts of stuff. I kind of like it. You grind it down, you can see where that old tack was. You can tack right next to it, bridge off of it, and I feel like it does great. Now, with more grinding equals more heat on the panel, so you do have to be cautious. You do have to take your time, but I think it's a good method. It's up to you. Give it a try if you'd like. Let's get back to it. Well, made it right here near the end, and my hood's charged. So I got those plug welds done with the hood, which is nice. Squinting is a good alternative, but I am definitely going to have a sunburn tomorrow. I guess that's part of it, right? Little sore face. I'll learn better one of these days. Next thing I wanted to show you is I'm going to go ahead and light up our workspace here, and because we have a single cab, we're going to go in the treasure chest, and well, we can see our pinholes. Not a lot of them, but we definitely have pinholes, and we're going to have some cleanup to do in here. Since this is a working space in the truck, I'm going to want to try to finish up how it looks in here, so a little grinding will be necessary, but we are pretty close to having this first patch panel done. You all have seen me switching back and forth on different grinding apparatuses. You know, I have a air grinder with discs on it. I've been using an angle grinder, actually using a cutoff wheel. I like how they flex and don't really eat in too hard. What I'm getting at is, if you're starting work like this, try different things. If something's not working, try a different way of grinding it. Get after it, take your time, pay attention, but find what works best for the application. Sometimes it's something completely different. Sometimes you could be creative and come up with something new. All I'm saying is, try something, see what works for you, and just get it done, you know? That's how the project gets finished. So this is where we're at. That's not a, you know, finish that I'm super happy with. I need some, probably some milder discs to clean it up. You can see we got a couple of hot spots. That'll happen. Folks, the deal is, this is actually, majority of this is going to be under in the tire well right here, not up in the compartment. We're not aiming for protection. Wow, that was awful. I'm not aiming for perfection in this situation. We're just trying to patch up some holes, but that's not some sort of humble brag. I'm actually pretty happy with how this turned out, I'll be honest with you. It's not real warped. I think once I clean it up with a finer grit, it's actually going to look pretty great. And that is the first of many holes patched on this truck that's getting us closer to putting this cab back together. I gotta be honest, this is not where I was planning on ending the episode. That power outage today really cut my free time down here in the shop. I'm really happy with what we got done though. First patch and the passenger fender well's done. I still have the lower one to do. And then moving on to the middle and the driver's side, but I don't know, just like getting that shift rod out a couple weeks ago, this is a big step. It's a motivating factor to go, look at that. A few hours work and we've got a major hole gone. So a little bay window metal tucked into an early split window bus, and we're gonna call it a day on that. I really appreciate y'all being here. I probably don't say that enough, but keep checking in, keep liking, keep commenting, and subscribe if you would, please. Follow along on the continuation of this build and the other builds to come. And until next time, keep working on your Volkswagens. Let's get them on the road. See ya.